The greatest trade in NFL history.
Forget cable, switch to Frontier. The Fios Triple Play brings dedicated 100% fiber optics to your home. Fios TV, 15x5 internet and digital phone for $119.99 per month with 2-year price protection plan on qualifying service. FrontierPacificNW.com.
Okay,
that is what you called it.
It wasn't quite that, although I did call it that. But we're talking about the Seahawks and the move they made for Kellen Winslow. And I think what Bob and I were both kind of wondering about it is why would Tampa basically give away a guy who has been such a productive player? I mean, even with the injury talk, he hasn't missed a game in 3 years, has averaged over 70 catches those 3 seasons, a 75-catch season last year. They gave him to the Seahawks. Seahawks only give up a 7th-round draft pick if he makes the team, and if he hits a couple of incentives that I'm sure they'd like to see him hit, or a couple of performance things, it'll be a 6th-round pick. Absolutely nothing for a guy who was the 6th overall pick selected and one of the most productive receiving tight ends ever out there. And we talked to a guy in Tampa today who gave us a little bit of insight to it, I thought.
Yeah, from the Tampa Tribune, Roy Cummings, who's a beat writer for this team. So he's interacted with Winslow. He's around this team, obviously, day in, day out. And we asked him, all right, well, what kind of guy is he? Because you hear a lot about attitude, or maybe there were some issues with his personality. And he said, yeah, he was a little prickly with the media in the beginning, but he became a guy who just would do whatever you wanted, no matter what you wanted to talk about, when you want to talk about it. He said he was their most productive receiver on that team. They had a failed season last year. They won 4 games. They got a new head coach, and Coach Schiano, who clearly, by everybody's account, including Roy, is a massive disciplinarian who says, it's my way or the highway, and apparently his way is having everybody there for the workouts. Kellen Winslow does a lot of his workouts apparently on his own. I think part of it is because of his knee. He doesn't participate in certain things. He's had multiple surgeries on that knee, so I think part of it's limiting the impact on that. But it just sounds like it's a new coach trying to establish his way, who said, well, this guy's not going to conform to the way I want him to do things. Let's cut ties.
A new coach who seems like a crazy-ass control freak, though. I mean, well, let's remember there was a story that came out when he was at Rutgers. When they were on the road and they have team meetings, they wanted the temperature to be at an exact temperature in the meeting room. I mean, he sounds like a psycho, frankly. Now, we'll see how he can do, but you're right. The practice part of it seemed to be a part of it. But in talking to Roy Cummings about it, I sort of point-blanked him. I said, this move doesn't seem to make any sense from Tampa's standpoint, and he agreed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds strictly like what you said, that a coach is coming in who needs everyone on his page, his way or the highway. And from Winslow, the degenerative knee thing, that's never going to be the deal that he can do. He's not going to be able to come in and do all that stuff and practice that way. But, as he said in a serious interview, there's no problems with Schiano or everything, but you don't even see a guy play and you get rid of one of your most productive football players. Doesn't seem to make much sense.
No, and Roy didn't seem to think it made much sense either. So it looks like it's the Seahawks gain. A 7th-round pick is what you're looking at, potentially a 6th-round pick, ultimately, for a guy who, if he catches 70-plus, if he catches 60-plus, it outdoes what Zach Miller did. And, Zach Miller was asked to do a lot of different things last year, but he had, what do you have? 25 catches last year. So you have the chance to win big here with this because you gave up nothing. And if he has any kind of impact whatsoever, you win. Salary cap-wise, they're in a great position, so there is no negative impact as far as his salary goes. I don't know how you don't like this if you're a Seahawks fan.
Maybe it is the greatest trade in the history of the NFL.